What's happening? Welcome to my channel. My name is Matt Bradford. Today we're going to be talking about Up Around the Bend by Creedence Clearwater Revival. It's an awesome song. It was my intro to like loving Creedence. It's perfect for open D tuning, which is what we're going to be talking about today. Lap steel and open D tuning, right? That's D-A-D, F-sharp A-D. And yeah, so check it out. Before we get into the lesson, all of today's lessons materials, I've got some tabs, I've got some chord charts, I've got the chart for the song itself. All of that is available on Patreon. The link is below. I have t-shirts. There's a cat guy. There's a bones guy. They come in different colors. They're on mugs. They're on sweatshirts. They're on all types of stuff. So please, if you're interested, buy a shirt. Link is below. Or a hat or a mug or whatever. I sell instruments. I build and sell lap steels. The link for that to my Reverb store is below. But if you're interested, Reverb, has fees and like it's hard to calculate shipping well, so I have to like overestimate stuff. If you're interested, just hit me with an email, mattbradfordmusic@gmail.com, and I can give you a better price. Finally, if you like all this stuff, you don't want to subscribe to anything, you don't want one of my dumb shirts, you don't want one of my dumb guitars, you just want to you're like, hey man, I appreciate this, I want to leave you a tip. Bam, QR codes, leave me a tip. It would be greatly appreciated and helps me keep doing this. Okay, so let's get into, we don't need to turn that on yet. Let's get into Up Around the Bend in open D tuning. Let's turn on the overhead camera. We have an overhead camera. If you preferred the charts with like the highlighted stuff, then let me know and I can go back to that. But it's too much to do both. It's just too much editing for me. So. It already takes hours and hours and hours to edit one of these. So, that's what it is. Let's start with, let's look at this chart real quick. Okay, so the chart is over here, I think, I'm pretty sure. And we're in open D tuning, and the song is in the key of D, which is awesome. And it only uses 3 chords, your 1 chord, your 4 chord, your 5 chord. Okay, so this is the D major scale. The song is played in D major. We're using our 1 chord, our 4 chord, our 5 chord. And if you look at the chart, initially the intro, right? That. Gotta get our muting together. Whoa. That intro is just the 1 chord and the 5 chord. So let's start there because that's where the song starts. And if you haven't been here before, basically we're going to learn the bones of the song. I'm going to show you most of the stuff. It's a pretty straightforward song. The one thing is going to be the rhythm parts. He's kind of playing guitar and doing some little strummy, like folky chord stuff that we're not going to do, but we'll talk about how to navigate those changes. But let's start with the intro, right? So the intro part is just an open D. It's just a D chord, and he's hitting the open 4th string, which is D, right? But it's the 1, and then we're gonna go 1 1, 1 on the 4th string, 1 on the 1st string at the 12th fret, and then 5 3 5. Now, if you're looking at this, the main thing here is going to be muting. It's all in one line, so we don't want to be playing. That's not how the riff goes. It's not. Right? It's really individual notes. So, the muting is key. Oh, my nose itches. Okay. Right off the bat, if you see how I'm doing it, I've got my 3 fingers here. Are we in the shot? Okay, we're in the shot. This is good. We got a good camera angle today. My fingers are resting on the strings. Right? So you want to make sure that you're not hearing these guys ringing, right? And you're not hearing these guys ringing. And then immediately I come off, and my fingers are really just, and look, if you use 2 finger picks instead of 3, that's okay. You're gonna have to figure out a way to mute the way you do it. I use 3 finger picks. It's not that big of a deal, but I can pick block everything. Right? I guess I'm not pick block. There I'm pick blocking with my thumb. Right? Pick is down. But also, my slide came up. So I can hit all the strings. And I'm just hitting that one. And then my bar is moving back and forth. I don't know if you can see that. Right? So we're making sure that we're muting and we're only playing the one note that we want to play. Right? You see what I'm saying? Let's go slow if we need to. If you need to practice, go slow. But that's the key. It's got to be muted. And then the second chord is the 5 chord, which is at the 7th fret. And he's playing the open 5th string. And then on the recording, he's letting it ring. Because he's playing bottleneck slide, so he's approaching it from this side, and he can go and then let it ring throughout the chord. We can't do that, right? I mean, we can try, but it's really tricky. It's really hard to do that, so I'm just not letting it ring. But it's the exact same pattern that was up here. It's just now we're starting with our open 5th string. So up here, open 4th string, right? And then we go down to our 7th fret. Right? That's it. That's the whole riff, which is pretty rad. What a simple, cool, iconic riff. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Does that make sense what I'm doing? Ooh, also, tones, just because people ask about this sometimes. I'm using, this is a, I mean, obviously it's a guitar I built and I'm selling them. Please buy this guitar. I'll give you a good price. I'm using Mr. Glenn's pickups. They're from Mr. Glenn. And I'm using a Greer Amps Mini Chief today. It's 3 watts, but it's 3 very loud, very aggressive, angry, awesome watts. Let's turn this a little bit. Okay, there we go. All right, so does that make sense? Right, with the thing with the. Right. See how we're putting that together? That's the whole intro. Super easy. So we get to the chords. Now once you start singing, right. Whatever, I'm not going to sing John Fogerty, he's amazing. What I'm hearing is really, he's playing some chords, and he's doing like his, you know... Okay, so if you look at the chart here, it's really similar to the intro. Intro has 2 bars of 1, a bar of 5, a bar of 1. The verse, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Okay, and all I'm doing, I'm making sure that my 1 is my top note. Okay, so I'm just playing the bottom 3 strings on my 1 chord. And then bottom 4 strings on my 5. Okay. It sounds like that to me, or maybe it could be but I think it's That's what I think it is. And you know, it's not a super important part. I mean, you want to have chords behind the song, but you could be playing. Right? Like if I was covering it, that's probably more what I would be doing, just trying to get some, right, or whatever. But again, the whole point, especially if you haven't been here before, where we learn songs, we kind of learn the idea of what's happening. We need the bones, we need the things that are important. These riffs are important. I'm going to go through the solos, even though they're not super. The solo is not itself, I think, super important, but it's fun it's a fun exercise to try to take that guitar solo and make it a lap steel solo. We're going to do that in a second. We're going to talk about the chorus first. So, does the verse make sense though? It's really simple. It's 8 beats of 1, 6 beats of 5, and then 2 beats of 1 for a total of 16 beats, which is 4 bars, right? And then come on, rise a wheel. You know, I don't. You notice I'm not singing the words because I don't. I kind of just know the melody. But so the chorus is about as straightforward as it gets. Also, it's the same thing. It's 4 chord, and I'm playing. Okay. I'm playing the bottom 4 notes of the 4 chord. So this is my top note, the 6. Okay, bottom 5 notes of my 5 chord. So, and then bottom 3 notes of my 5 chord. So, and you can even play the 7 there. I don't like it though. I like the 5. Right? And he goes through the whole progression twice. 4, 1, 5, 4, 1, 5, and then the second time through, there's an extra bar of 5. Ooh, for that ooh. This is what happens when I start imitating John Fogerty. It sounds like that. It's not good. Not good. And people ask me, they're like, are you just playing these 3? You know, I do 2 different ways. I have 2 different ways of playing these chords. Depends on if I'm plucking or if I'm picking. If I'm plucking, I pluck the root note on the bottom, and then I pluck with my fingers on the highest 2 string. Right, and you're not hearing that, or I can strum. Right, and when I strum here, you'll notice my hand comes off, and I'm just, it's kind of hard to see because I'm obscuring it, but my ring finger is just holding on to that high string, so you can just, so here I'm muting with my fingers back here, right? Okay, that's it. So that's our whole chart. That's the whole thing. And then, so we have a couple of cool things. The guitar solo, they're doing a lot of the bendy and then play another string while you're bending and then bend back down thing. We can't do that. But it's an opportunity to learn a couple of cool moves. So it's in the D major scale. It's all out of D major. And it's the first part is 4, 5, 1, 3. And a lot of times when you hear the D major stuff, a lot of it is actually D major pentatonic, which is what this is. This is all D major pentatonic, which I think I'm missing one hammer-on pull-off thing. When I was sitting there figuring it out, it was like what's happening, but basically what I'm playing That's the beginning. So, are the first 4 notes, right? 4, 5, 1, 3. And then he has this kind of like pull-off thing where I'm just playing this kind of, this great little like straight line. Right? And I'm plucking middle finger, first finger, thumb, and then first finger again. So do you see that? How and then what a common guitar move to go from the 6 up to the 7 to the 2. And then back down to the 5 So 6, 7, 2, 7, 6, 5. And that's actually not, that's regular major scale. That's not pentatonic. Whatever. This is aren't you glad you're here for lessons? Right? He does that twice. It's the same thing. Like, why? I had a teacher once who was like, milk that bleeper till the cows come home. Which doesn't make sense, but you get the idea, right? If you have a good lick, keep doing it. And then at the very end, he just kind of, right, does that little thing where he's just 7, 7, 7, 6, 5. That's the whole solo, right? And so break it down slow. If you're like that's really fast. The tricky part is that, and you can. You could just skip that. You could go right. Just go 7, 6, 5, so you don't have to have that. You could skip that. It sounds fine, but go slow. And you'll notice the thing about going slow for me. Why am I yelling every lesson? The thing about going slow, the most important thing about going slow is not to play the fast parts, the parts that you know fast, and then do the rest slow. It's to try to make it all the same speed. And I should have used the right fingers. That's the other part. Okay. I'm using thumb, index, thumb, middle finger. You see what I did there? Hold up both, because otherwise. And then I can't do it slow. There it is. That's what it is. All right. So. All right, you go slow. And then you keep speeding it up a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time. And if you do that, then you get faster, right? And do it with a metronome. Yeah, if you're not sure about the numbers and stuff, by the way, like go through my beginning lessons. I'll link them on whichever side. I think it's this side, but whichever side we link the stuff. I'll link the beginning. This starts with just like these are the notes on the fingerboard, and it takes us through all the stuff, up to numbers and all the rest. Okay, so we have the solo. The last thing is the outro part. And the outro part is just, that's it the whole time. And you know, again, right? He's playing it over either the verse part or the intro part. I'd have to go back and listen again. But look, just listen. Here, is it changing in the middle of the bar or is it changing at the beginning of the bar? This is how we develop our ear, right? Which part is that? I've given you all the notes. So the way this works, it's really off of the 2, 3, and the 5. Right? 2, 3, 5, 2, 3, 5, 2, 3, 5, 3. And if I was going to be smart and intelligent about it, I would be picking thumb, index, middle. And then thumb at the end. You see that? Does that make sense? Right? And the second time. Thumb, first finger. Okay? And that's just that's one of his vocal melodies. So I hope this lesson made sense. That was quick and easy and painless, I hope. It's a super cool song. I would encourage you to play along with it, right? Learn the parts, play along with it, play along with the solo. The main thing that the best piece of advice I ever got, I asked my buddy Marty about some pedal steel, and he said, just play and love every minute of it. And I was like, that doesn't help me at all, Marty. And it was the best advice I've ever gotten. The more you play and the more you just enjoy it, you'll get better. It's all about just time. So spend time, play the song. I hope this was rad. Thanks for hanging.